Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
Russia holds more gold reserves than the US dollar. I want you to listen to this first clip that I'm going to play you right now. Let me get it queued up. Here it is right here. This is E.B. Tucker from Stansberry Research. Shout out to Daniela Cambone. Follow her, subscribe to her channel. Listen to what this incredible investor, former Goldman Sachs guy says here.
From the angle of Russia, they say, well, Russia has all the gold, they're terrible. What, you know, if you have gold, you're with Russia. You see, you're seeing you never seeing people say that about Bitcoin. They'll never say about Bitcoin, well, the hackers have Bitcoin, so if you have Bitcoin, you're a hacker. They never say that. It's a whole page of positive Bitcoin. It's going to change the world. Got to get some. Got to get all the coins. The coins are coming back. Here's the price prediction. You never see that on gold.
But I tell you what, but we do know that he's right about the idea that gold is very, very much appealing to countries around the world, and they have been increasing their reserves as Russia has been doing. So now let's move quickly here to the next spot, which is Jim Rickards, who is a gold bug economist. Certainly has worked with the CIA over the years. But listen what he says here when he's asked here by Charles Payne, I believe it is, about the United States dollar as the gold or as the global reserve currency. Listen here.
Line where Russia and China were stockpiling massive quantities of gold, the possibility of issuing a new gold-backed currency that would have marginalized, even eliminate maybe the US dollar as the global reserve currency. Over the last 2 weeks, so many people have asked me about the US dollar being a global reserve currency. I mean, could this kind of a scenario actually come to reality?
Well, I think it is coming to reality, and that's the point. And I guess Zoltan Pozar, Credit Suisse, wrote a good report on this. I read his report, great research. But I was kind of smiling to myself. I facilitated a financial war game for the Pentagon in 2009, and with some help from friends, this is exactly the scenario we played out. We said Russia and China are going to accumulate gold. They're going to start basically new currency through a private bank and say to the world, from now on, if you want Chinese manufactured goods or Russian oil, you have to pay for it in this new currency. Now, that was a stretch in 2009. 13 years ago, but our job was to make the Pentagon think ahead.
And that's exactly what they've done, by the way. So now let's grab the next piece we need to go to. This is a mock digital currency war situation for which you can see Gary Gensler was a part of. Let's play this, and I think it's Naha Narula right here on the end as well. Listen to this first clip that I want you to hear here. It is at this moment right here. Check it out.
Use their leverage. One of the questions that the president has is, can we definitively say that the Chinese have the ability to see these yuan transactions that the North Koreans are using?
I do think that the digital yuan is totally transparent to the Chinese government. People's Bank of China initiated this several years ago, basically to compete in their domestic payment space with two big tech companies. Alibaba with Alipay, and Tencent with WeChat Pay.
What we talked about so far, I think, is the Chinese government, and there's another actor involved here, which are the Chinese commercial banks. that, as I understand it, the way the digital currency is structured, Chinese commercial banks are in the middle of it, and they have an interest in doing business in the United States. And so at some point we need to think about what kind of pressure and other tools can we use to focus on those banks and their interests in the United States.
And now with that, let's talk about the idea of understanding what she just said. So Gary Gensler even as well. The digital yuan is completely transparent to the Chinese government. So if you hold it, they're watching what you do with it. How do we get around that, knowing that the Chinese banks, as the woman said, are going to want to do business outside of China and with the U.S.? Well, I think I got an answer. Let's take a look right here. I believe you use something like this. The XRP ledger. That's right. The XRP ledger, which is a decentralized exchange for the world that it can exchange anything to anything, as we are all well aware of. Right? It becomes a bridge currency, so you can keep your little spy on me digital yuan coin, and we'll keep our dollar, and everybody's good to go because we don't have to hold your dollar anymore, which we know is completely invasive, right? So now let's take a look at this. What if they were to go to collateralizing the ledger, because this bridge currency could stop this spying on each other through money and transactions, and or the ability to take the money back if it's digital? You could wake up tomorrow and not have it, or have half of it. What if they were to go to a gold bond back system like Judy Shelton had proposed many, many years ago, and you put up collateral, whether it was through gold or gold bonds, and then other assets as well through stocks, bonds, or different currencies and reserves of those, oil as well? Let's keep going, ladies and gentlemen. We're not done by a long shot. Listen to this.
Breaking news out of Brussels this evening. A cyber attack on SWIFT, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, has resulted in the theft of $3 billion from commercial banks based in Germany, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. So
now they're still in this mock war situation, national security crisis simulation, and they're dealing with the idea of a potential hack. What did we see recently that Russia said because of the SWIFT sanctions from the U.S.? That they were going to cyber attack the banking system in the U.S. because they know that the SWIFT system is privately owned by the banks. So now we have this projection back in 2019, a simulation of what do we do if SWIFT system has been attacked as it was proposed here. Keep listening.
So the old system just isn't cutting it anymore, and unfortunately the trajectory of that is that it's just going to keep on getting worse and worse and worse. And so yes, we see China with the yuan, but you know, the competitiveness of the US dollar is a matter of national security, and we have to take this seriously and continue to innovate.
Secretary Summers, are you suggesting that the U.S. create our own digital currency, or just that we work on SWIFT, we stick to our current system, but make SWIFT less vulnerable to cyber threats?
We need to make a secure SWIFT. Look, SWIFT is digital. It's all binary. It's all electronic communication. So there's a question about what the definition what we mean by that. But my proposal is that we harden SWIFT.
Okay, harden SWIFT, he says. Well, let's check this out then. You want to harden SWIFT? Well, I think you do it right here. You do it using RippleNet, enterprise software solution that has really got hundreds and hundreds of banks on it, and it could seriously become the new digital arm of SWIFT, if not a full-on merger, let alone a collaboration. We know the XRP ledger is much more resilient than the antiquated, vulnerable messaging system of SWIFT that's being talked about in this currency war. Now let's talk about this. This is going to be E.B. Tucker again from Stansberry Research. And this is just a couple days ago. And really kind of talking about what we've seen since the sanctions of SWIFT against Russia is we're seeing this very quickly happening. It's a fractionalized payment system, a world being born right in front of us because of this, because there are so many cascading effects of just simply sanctioning Russia, right? There's everybody's connect to the hip when it comes to global payments and trade and things of that nature. So now you're going to see these zones, as E.B. Tucker calls it. Take a listen.
Important. 2019, I gave a speech in London about globalization is over and the world is going to cordon off into zones. Okay, and what that means is that you're having, from a world market that we've been used to the last 20 years, we're going down to a market of zones where the U.S. is not buying Russian oil. You see the news this week. No more Russian oil. Well, people say, well, what do we need Russian oil for? Well, I hate to tell you, but you know, it's 3 to 6% of daily supply, depending on the numbers you look at. There's a lot of oil that comes out of Russia. I mean, it's one of the top producers in the world. You know, the U.S., Saudi Arabia are around 10. You know, Russia's, you know, somewhere around half that. It's a big, big, big number, and we're not going to buy any of it. So you have $120 oil and $5 or $6 gas. You know, Imperial Assign said $10 gas. People thought he was crazy. Yeah. We're over halfway there.
And that's what you're looking at. You're looking at the cascading effects and how everybody's really conjoined at the hip because of this global payment system and global supply trade economy world that we're living in, right? All right, well, let's take a look at this, because is there evidence we can point to of that? You better believe there is, and it's right here. Kremlin reveals new independent Russian-Chinese financial system. We also know that India has reported that they're looking to work around SWIFT sanctions and work directly with Russia as well.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.